Welcome to Watch Mojo,
and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 worst video games of 2025.
You're right. I didn't think this thing through.
Number 10, Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. Is Welcome Tour a terrible game? Not entirely. For $10, what you get is a tech demo that showcases all of the different things your Switch 2 can do, and it even explains how the console's different features work. It's somewhat educational, but that's really as interesting as it gets for the entire hour or two you spend on this, which is why we're putting it on the list. The minigames themselves are super basic and just plain boring overall. Nintendo, did you guys really need the $10 that badly? For a game that no one is going to revisit after launch week, let alone after they first play the game? Who do you owe money to, guys? Huh? Who's hurting you? Number 9, Neptunia Riders vs. Dogoos.
My name is Uzume Tenoboshi. I have no idea where I am or why I'm being chased by Dogoos.
The Neptunia games are generally fine if you like goofy anime centered around video games and waifus that represent plastic boxes. But Neptunia Riders vs. Dogoos is not a good representation of the IP. To its credit, it does have interesting ideas with customizing your bike to aid in your Dogoo capturing antics. Ultimately though, it falls flat on its face. The gameplay is super mundane and it never gets anything imaginative beyond the bike. Before you know it, the game is over in just a couple of short hours. Maybe we need to just stick to the RPGs, guys.
You're planning to harm my precious Dogoos, aren't you? Chaser Dogoo, come!
Number 8, Tales of the Shire, a The Lord of the Rings game. No, I did not mispronounce that. That is actually what the game is called. On paper, a game like Tales of the Shire sounds super appealing. Rather than another war-fueled story we've experienced in several other Lord of the Rings games, we can experience the quiet, calm life of a hobbit. Thing is that Tales of the Shire is too quiet and too calm. There isn't much to do outside of cooking, fishing, and foraging. The world feels totally void of landmarks and life, and it's a wonder how technically unstable the game is. The footage you're seeing here, this is on a PS5. It does not run great. This should have been a sleeper hit, but man, the stink on Lord of the Rings is getting really, really rancid now. Number 7, Captain Blood. The reason Captain Blood was never released way back in the mid-2000s like it was supposed to is because of legal problems, forcing the game to be shelved for the next 20 or so years. Well, it finally launched in 2025, and you know, maybe it should have stayed as vaporware. Captain Blood is essentially God of War at home with a pirate hat on, and it's not amusing in the slightest. The pacing between missions and story beats is all over the place, and the combat is super dull even after unlocking the majority of abilities. If you were looking for something that looks and feels archaic in design and visuals, maybe you didn't mind Captain Blood. However, this is definitely a game that is mediocre at best, obnoxiously milquetoast at worst. Number 6, Tron Catalyst.
I think illegal is a line I've already crossed, program. But how do you know this stuff?
Developer Bithell Games saw some success in its first attempt at a Tron video game with 2023's Tron Identity. Tron Catalyst is the follow-up to that, and we're not exactly sure what happened with this one. Light cycles are frustrating to control, whereas combat never evolves beyond mashing the same button over and over again. As for exploration, one would have hoped there'd be something to make Tron's virtual world somewhat captivating. Alas, that is not the case. This IP deserves better, man. Number 5. Tamagotchi Plaza. The Switch 2's launch month was a good time to remind people why Tamagotchis were so much fun to have way back when. Millennials likely got suckered into Tamagotchi Plaza only to find a game that demanded way too much money for such a tedious experience. Hope you like mini-games because that's all there is to this game. As a shopkeeper, you will play the same handful of basic mini-games for minute rewards to improve your store's capabilities. And get this, there are no tutorials to guide you through these mini-games. You're just gonna have to play and figure them out for yourself. Good luck! Number 4. Terrifier, the ARTcade game. A Terrifier video game sounds like an exciting idea, until you stop and ask, what exactly does a Terrifier game even look like? According to developer Relevo, it's just another 2D beat-em-up, which we've seen an influx of in recent years. What makes this insulting to fans, though, is how just lazily cobbled together it is. Combat is nothing more than mashing the same button while occasionally finishing off enemies, and none of it feels good to pull off either. Not even the Viscera matches up to the magnitude seen in the movies. Gotta wonder what the point of making this game was, and then you look at the $90 limited edition. Ah, that's why this game was made. Number 3, Venus Vacation Prism, Dead or Alive Extreme.
それでオーナー、今日は何をするんだっけ?
The Dead or Alive franchise has been on life support because of the Extreme spin-offs, to the point where it's slowly overtaking the identity of the mainline series. Venus Vacation Prism is the next step in that direction as you'll photograph and romance your favorite Dead or Alive characters, like, wait, it's just Hanukkah? Who are you people? Yes, it's a Dead or Alive spin-off loaded with characters who have nothing to do with the franchise, and none of them are remotely interesting in any way, shape, or form. To make matters worse, your only dialogue choices ever seem to be either act super shy and stupid, or be an obnoxious and creepy flirt. It's a game that constantly puts you in a weird conversation as Misaki gets belittled for her less than voluptuous assets for the umpteenth time. What the hell is this game, dude?
お待たせ、オーナー。どうかな?
Number 2, Call of Duty Black Ops 7.
I want you to move into Avalon, investigate that toxin, and find out what the guild's plans are.
As if the ugly side of gaming couldn't get any weirder in 2025, Call of Duty decided to jump an even bigger shark than they did with the whole space thing in Ghosts. Black Ops 7 is loaded with so many moments that are frustratingly confusing as the campaign goes full MCU with its nonsense. Plot meanders around as you bounce in and out of old missions from previous games with some of the most absurd boss fights in the franchise's history. As for the multiplayer, the AI art that plagues the in-game store is just absolutely disgusting. Granted, Call of Duty hasn't been respecting players for well over a decade, arguably longer than that, but we didn't ever think it would stoop this low.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Mind's Eye.
Jake? Yeah, man.
Damn, man. You made it.
Yeah.
Even after the weird blights we've seen this year, Mind's Eye will forever be the worst game we played throughout 2025. Directed and co-written by ex-GTA producer Leslie Benzies, Mind's Eye delivers a haphazardly thrown together story with a broken technical mess of a game that relies way too heavily on user-generated content. Expect AAA levels of quality in lazily implemented motion blur, dumb as bricks AI that can't shoot for shit, and vehicle physics that allow even the tiniest bump to send you flipping and spinning out of control. Following this awful launch came leaks about how mismanaged the entire game was by both Benzies and his fellow executives. To make matters worse, both Benzies and his executives spent an extensive amount of time trying to discredit outlets over their coverage of Mind's Eye, claiming that saboteurs were trying to ruin his credibility before the game was even out. To call this entire thing a circus is a severe understatement.
Good looking out, man.
You got this.
Did you fall victim to any of these underbaked games? Let us know down in the comments.
And don't forget to subscribe to Watch Mojo.